Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of To High School and Beyond. I am Jean Turner. I am a high school career development coordinator at Hickory High School.
And I'm Janet Durr-Littman. I'm the Special Populations Coordinator with Hickory Public Schools.
And we have a very special guest with us today. And we're just so excited to have one of our very own coming back to share with us. We have the Dr. Patrice Baptista. She's currently working at Cooper University Healthcare in Camden, New Jersey. Thank you, Patrice, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be back.
Well, good. So let's go ahead and get started. Can you tell us about your high school experience, any classes you took here that may have helped you get to where you are today?
Sure. So I could go into, the classes that I think that were helpful, but overall, I just really enjoyed my high school experience at Hickory High School. I think that one of the things that was pivotal for me kind of going along this road was playing basketball at Hickory High and being involved in a lot of the after school programs, because it really just kind of gave me those earliest disciplines I think that carried on later on. And this may not apply to everyone. If you don't have that early interest in medicine or know that that's something that you want to do, it's okay. But I knew early on that I was interested in science. And so, of course, taking as many science courses that I could at the time, and also taking AP biology. When I was in high school, we hadn't yet had the IB program. I think it came the last year that I was in high school. That would have been something that I think would have been helpful as well. But more than any particular class, I think being open early and really trying to figure out what things I like more than just careers, like what topics, what fields I was interested in, kind of really set me up, and being able to explore all those different things more so in terms of electives. Another course that I think was really helpful for me, my senior year, I took an internship course at Hickory High School. And at the time, I was able to select Child Health Care Center, which is a pediatric medical office in Hickory, North Carolina. That gave me an opportunity to really see medicine firsthand for the very first time. I'd gone to the doctor, but that was the first time that I realized, wow, maybe I could do this. So again, it was pretty late on in my high school career that I kind of had that first, okay, I can actually do this. But just really exploring as many of the electives as you can, taking the honors courses, taking the AP courses, taking the IB courses, and even if you don't, just exploring some of the electives.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
What college did you attend and why?
So I went to Wake Forest, go Deeks. Honestly, I think I first got interested in Wake Forest through basketball, but really I knew that I wanted to play basketball there, but I kind of also looked at the school outside of the athletics, and really chose to go there because I knew that they were affiliated with a medical school, and I knew that they really had a pretty big pre-medical program, and so that kind of what attracted me to the university. It was close to home. I could come home on the weekends to get a home-cooked meal and kind of get some TLC after I'd been beaten up after one of my chemistry exams, and really just it was a beautiful campus. That was another thing that really attracted me to the school. But I knew that it was a good college. I was close to home, and that it had that affiliation with a medical school. And I thought it would be a good kind of opportunity to really strengthen my pre-medical skills.
So what were the next steps after Wake Forest? You did 4 years at Wake Forest. What was the next steps after that?
So this can look very different for a lot of people. I took more of a non-traditional route. I thought that I was interested in medicine in high school, maybe. I became a little bit more uncertain of that in college because the pre-medical coursework was so difficult. And so I slowed down. I didn't take all of my pre-med courses at Wake Forest. I took most of them, and then I thought maybe I was interested in public health. I did a broad internship program in college still in public health and just really wasn't sure. So by the time I graduated, I didn't have all the courses that I needed to go directly into medical school, which some people do, but not everyone does, and I didn't. So I actually moved to South Florida and I started working. And while I was working, I also took it's called a post-baccalaureate program. And so there's formal programs that will allow you to kind of take those science courses, whether you need to repeat them and try for a higher score, or whether, like in my case, I need to take some of them for the first time it just sort of gives you an opportunity to finish up those prerequisite courses for medical school and also study for a test, pre-medical, like medical, I'm not sure exactly what the abbreviation is, but the MCAT essentially, which is an entry exam for medical school. And so I took 3 years off between college and starting medical school. And during that time, I was working in a completely non-medical, non-science related field. I was working in business. But I was also taking my science courses that I needed, studying for that entry exam. So again, there's many different like pathways. It doesn't always look the same for everyone. You can go directly into medical school right after undergraduate. There's some undergraduate programs that actually are 5 years and will serve as, a couple years of undergrad, and then will directly matriculate you into medical school. There's the pathway where you can take 4 years of undergraduate and then apply and go directly into medical school. And then, of course, there's people like me who take time off. And then there's others who, are in completely different careers altogether and may take 10, 15, 20 years and then decide I want to be a doctor and go into medical school later. Okay. Lots of options.
So where did you go to medical school?
So I went to medical school at Cooper Medical School, Rowan University, which is in New Jersey. It's actually the current hospital that I stayed working at now. My medical school is in Camden, New Jersey, and it's a newer four-year medical school that just opened 7 years ago.
How did you know you wanted to be a doctor? I know that in your career path, in sciences, there's other things that you could have chosen to do. What made you decide to be a doctor?
This is always an interesting question for me because there was no one in my family who was a doctor. I didn't really grow up seeing a lot of doctors. Mrs. Turner may remember this. I think in the 8th grade, I used to always watch this TV show, A Baby Story. And I thought I wanted to be an OBGYN. Just like my earliest exposure, I thought it was kind of weird that I was 13 and I really thought it was so cool watching these ladies. There was a TV show on TLC, watching these women deliver babies. I thought it was so neat. And then when I had the exposure at Hickory High, the internship program working in the pediatric office, I just really like working with people. I had some other experiences where I knew that I enjoyed talking to people, working with people. But I think the biggest thing for me that made me want to become a doctor is seeing people who didn't really have great health care, great access to health care. And thinking about all those people out here, who at the end of the day, most people just want to have a good life, have a nice life, and meaningful life means a lot of different things to different people. But I think at the end of the day, we're different we're all different in many ways, but we're all similar in that we just want a good life, a healthy life, a meaningful life. And I think, one way that I could help people, you can help people in a lot of different ways, but if I could help people protect their health, and I could also help people just kind of chase the thing we're all, at the end of the day, no matter what race, ethnic, gender, what background we are, if we can take care of ourselves and we can be healthy, then we can all do what we're all trying to do, which is just be happy and meaningful lives. So that was really kind of I guess a roundabout way of saying I like to help people. I like science. And I saw medicine giving me a way to kind of combine my interests with things that I think are natural to me, which is just talking to people, understanding people from all over.
Definitely. But you brought up a good point. Watching that show, and I see a lot of students today, they'll watch different shows that will kind of propel them to certain career paths. I've heard people talk about Grey's Anatomy or some of the other hospital shows that kind of intrigue their interest into a medical career. But what's something that would surprise students about your job and your duties of the day-to-day?
I guess maybe you get some of these on some of these TV shows, but it's hard. Oh my gosh, it's hard. My day-to-day, as an emergency room doctor, I see all kinds of things. I see people kind of on the worst days of their life. People don't come to the emergency room usually, because they just want to be there and want to hang out and see people, or because they're there for a well visit, and are just getting a checkup. So I think, sometimes the TV shows can glorify, medicine in the sense that, you save everyone. And the sad reality is not everyone can't save everyone, and that can be very emotionally taxing at times. But for all the people that you do get to help and you do save, it kind of makes you feel better and like gives you the strength to keep fighting. So I think that that could be surprising to people, that there's not always positive outcomes, but that you do everything that you can, keep fighting, and end up helping a lot more people.
Okay.
And that's not something I understood like when I was in high school, or even, as a pre-medical student in college. Like, you're all excited and
What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced working in this field?
I think that just, one of the biggest challenges is how emotionally draining it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Now with COVID, there's like this, new challenge that we're all kind of figuring out together. But it's hard work. I think another thing that looking back over my career has been very hard is it's a lot of sacrifice. A lot of hard work and just the studying that it takes to get here, and the time away from your family. You're not always going to be able to make a certain dinner or party or family event, because you may have work or you may be studying.
So you're here now, and you just talked about some of the challenges, but you're in the field and you're working day to day in COVID and all the other situations that you see in emergency medical. But what's one thing you wish someone would have told you prior to coming into this field that you didn't know?
I'd say how much you sacrifice. I think have an idea that you're going to have to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
But you sacrifice a lot. Even, you sacrifice your own health risks, right? Going here. At the end of the day, I have to still go to work no matter, if I'm having a bad day, other people are depending on me to be there to help them. So you sacrifice a lot. And with COVID and now there's the option to work from home for a lot of people and go to class from home. But the emergency department is open 24/7, every holiday, no matter what the weather is, no matter if there's a pandemic. Those are times where you have to show up even more. So I think just not being aware of how much you sacrifice, that was something that I wish I would have known more about. I don't think it would have changed any, my decision, but I think just being aware of kind of what's ahead.
Thinking about our middle schoolers and our high school students, what kind of traits or characteristics would you say they need to hone to be good in this field?
The biggest is compassion, right? If you're working with patients, you just have to make sure that you're working on empathy, being compassionate. And, I was always the most talkative, in social settings, but just being comfortable, working on your communication skills, and also your work ethic. It's hard work, and it gets harder at every phase, but you get stronger. And I think knowing that just being gritty, being tough, no matter how tough the studying is, how much you miss your family, your friends, just being mentally tough, being emotionally tough, and knowing that you have inside of you what it takes, and getting down, finding out, tapping into that inner strength. I think those are the most important skills. The knowledge will come with studying, with time, with experience. You'll learn the material, but you have to have the grit and the focus and determination to want to, get through.
So you talked about how playing basketball and being disciplined to help you with your work ethic now. This video course and everything that we do, we're trying to make sure that our students still are aware of what's needed to be in these particular fields. What's one more thing, or what's one thing that you would say would be most important to tell students that they need to do to prepare for a career in healthcare?
I'd say take advantage of resources. Take advantage of opportunities to see as much as possible. You may have guidance counselor, teacher pushing you to, hey, maybe take this course. Maybe try this out. Maybe, just be open to trying new things, open to taking new courses, open to taking a course that may seem a little bit too difficult. The more open you are, the more experience you get, the better you learn yourself, the better you learn what you're interested in, the better you learn what you handle, and you just learn about different things. I mean, had I not taken that internship and taken it where I did, I may not have ever really known, like, hey, I could actually see myself doing this. Physically, like seeing the day to day what that looks like. So I think just really being open and taking advantage of all the resources that you have available. If you're not sure what those resources are, not being afraid to ask or tell people, hey, like, I may be interested in nursing. I may be interested in being a doctor. I may be interested in doing x-rays or, all the different areas of medicine that there are, or all, many different career paths. But you gotta talk to people, you gotta let people know what you like, what you might like, and be willing to explore those things.
Well, we thank you for taking time out. I know that you are ending your shift at work today. If you haven't, do you have any last parting words for us?
Thank you so much for having me. I think this is like a wonderful program. I wish it existed when I was in high school. I'm happy to join you guys. I will leave you my contact information, so if anyone has questions about anything medicine related, doesn't have to be about being a doctor or anything, I'm happy, or just what my experience was like at Hickory High, I'm happy to leave that with you.
That would be great. So, students, you have heard a lot of great information from Dr. Patrice Baptista, someone who walked the halls of Hickory High School. One of the things she did say was get involved and participate in an internship. Those do and can make a difference in what you do. So, again, we say thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrice.